And now, the NFL Hall of Fame.
Oh boy.
Yep. The
So-
Pro Football Hall of Fame has announced their 5 individuals that have reached the finalist stage.
And they are
Ralph Hay, who's a contributor, Mike Holmgren, who's a coach, and the 3 of them that are listed as seniors are Maxie Bauhan, Sterling Sharp, and Jim Trier.
I'm noticing a name missing.
Yeah. I'm certain old Snowman knows that name missing too.
Roger.
Yep.
Craig.
Roger Craig.
So once again, Roger Craig misses out in the Hall of Fame. And again, the question goes back to what constitutes a Hall of Fame career.
Well, they're still also trying to decide from the 25 players that are still in the running to make the Hall of Fame. And that list is massive because they finally whittled it down.
Gotcha.
I think there's one receiver that deserves to get in the Hall of Fame, and he's a former Colt. The name T.Y. Hilton. Make any sense to y'all?
Yeah.
Well, there's also, it's funny you bring that up because Reggie Wayne is on the list of players that are trying to get into the Hall. I got the full 25 player list in front of me, and the only quarterback that survived was Eli Manning.
Wow.
I don't think Eli should be going in this early.
Not this early. I know what they're going to say is that, well, he was the kryptonite to, the Brady-led New England Patriots, especially him playing spoiler to the nearly perfect season. But even then, it's like after those 2 Super Bowls, like what really did Eli do?
Well, let me give you the rest of the list so we can kind of break this down real quick. Okay. On the running back side, it's Fred Taylor and Ricky Waters.
Okay.
Wide receivers, Anquan Bolden, Torrey Holt, Steve Smith Sr., Hines Ward, and Reggie Wayne.
Oh, Steve Smith and Torrey Holt on the same ticket. Oh.
Let me throw in the tight end, Antonio Gates.
Oh, that's a good one.
Offensive lineman, Willie Anderson, Jahari Evans, Richmond Webb, Steve Wineski, and Marshall Yanda.
Wow.
Defensive backs, Eric Allen, Rodney Harrison, Earl Thomas, and Darren Woodson. Linebackers, James Lights Out Harrison, Luke Kuechly, and Terrell Suggs. Defensive linemen, Jared Allen, Robert Mathis, and Big Vince Wilfork. And kicker, Adam Big V Vinatieri.
Oh, yeah. He's definitely going. He should definitely go. You talk about someone who was accurate and the longevity as well. I don't think you can top that.
No, but old Snowman is probably seething right about now that there's no love for Craig because looking at these guys that are going in on the senior card, Maxie Bauhan played from 1960 to 1970 and then came out of retirement in 74. Yeah, Pro Bowl 9 times, helped Philadelphia win the championship in 60. Somebody that was in Roger Craig's era, Sterling Sharp. He played for the Packers from 88 to 94 and named to Pro Bowl 5 times. Right. Now, granted, his career was cut short due to a neck injury, but that's in the Roger Craig era. And Roger did so much more.
Yeah.
So where's the justice in all of this is my question.
There really is none because it is based on really a form of favoritism. And you can only say it as that. Again, this is why I said that it's very tough to have beat writers be the ones that make these choices because beat writers have a bias. Whether people want to admit it or not, they do have a bias. Some of them are more fans of their own home team. Some may just like a certain player over another. Some may have gotten snubbed or may have had a bad interview and they're like, I'll never vote this person in the Hall of Fame because I don't like them, period.
Right.
And it just becomes really muddled because it's no longer about what you do on the court. It's, who you can rub elbows with.
Yeah, it turns more into a popularity contest instead of the statistics that got you into the dance.
Exactly.
And that's the biggest problem is if you look at things statistically speaking, Roger Craig should have been in many moons ago.
He should have been, I would say, at least 10 years ago. He probably should
I
have been.
mean, he has the resume to get in. So why are people keeping him out?
Your guess is good as mine. Another thing is that people will say, because I remember we had an individual here who was like, well, he was a cog in the wheel because, he was with San Fran, and San Fran already had a very stacked team. So it's like he was a cog in the wheel, not necessarily the driving force. Doesn't matter if you're a cog in the wheel. If your numbers, state that you belong in that hall, that's all that matters, whether you're a cog in the wheel or you're the only star player in your team. That's like saying Steve Smith shouldn't get in because, well, he was on the Carolina Panthers, which were garbage for many, many years. Well, that's not his fault. He only did what he could do on the team.
Exactly. And I mean, okay, just to go over the highlights of Roger Craig, 3-time Super Bowl champion, NFL Offensive Player of the Year in 88, first team All-Pro in 88, second team All-Pro in 85, 4-time Pro Bowler, Jim Thorpe Trophy Award winner in 88, NFL receptions leader in 85, 1980s All-Decade team, San Fran 49er Hall of Fame, and second team All-Big 8 in 81. 165 games played, 73 touchdowns on 566 receptions, totaling 4,911 yards.
Also, it makes me a lot of the beat writers always kind of drop off the last couple decades. They don't really consider the last couple decades to be anything of note. So it's like, who cares? It was in the 80s. Let's get with the now. What's with the now? People like probably Aaron Rodgers, if he would retire. Of course, Tom Brady, for good reason.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Like people like that. They're probably going to look at it from that, like get with like the times of now, or at least a decade ago, not 2-3 decades ago,
And that's the problem is, and I have to say this because I've also kind of seen this with the NASCAR Hall of Fame. A lot more of the guys who have recently retired are going in instead of the guys who have been retired for 10, 20 years, because guys like, Harry Gant isn't getting his due, or, Ricky Rudd, isn't getting his due, or guys like that. It's the same problem.
Right.
Go
ahead, Shane.
It's ridiculous. It really is.
It's a matter of, what have you done for me lately? And I'll ask you guys this, both of you. Is there a person that has not been in the Hall of Fame, whatever Hall of Fame it is, that you just find it to be a total robbery that they have not gotten the Hall yet?
Droid, you take the first crack at this one.
No.
Really?
I don't want to. Like all of this is just bullshit. That's all I can really say.
It's bull flop.
It really is.
Yeah. See, I don't personally have someone who hasn't gotten in yet. The only one I could kind of like gripe about, even though he has finally gotten in, was T.O. Because I was a fan of T.O. when he was in San Fran. Then he went to Philly, and then, of course, went to Dallas. Yeah. Everywhere he went, he made an impact. But everyone's like, well, he doesn't have, good he doesn't have good team chemistry. He's not a team player. It's like, does it matter if it doesn't matter? Is it on the field or not? Did he do what he's supposed to do on the field? Yes or no? Yes. There you go.
I mean, it took him forever to put Randy Moss in the Hall.
It did, and I thought that was stupid.
I mean, look what he did. Granted, he made his name originally with Minnesota.
Yeah.
But look what he did with New England in that year. Brady broke the record.
Oh my God. I remember I was driving home when that game happened, and I listened to the call, and I was so happy because Randy Moss deserved it. Absolutely.
Yes. And I believe it was actually a throw to Moss that broke the record.
It did. It was. And I think it was a fly route too. I think it was a straight
fly
route.
It was a deep fly.
Deep fly route. And Brady just caught Moss in mid-stride, and he was gone.
Exactly.
But it's like, again, and one of the people who really led the charge against was Skip Bayless. We'll get to that, later. But
yeah, we'll save that for a confessional.
Right, but that's the issue. It's like it's always these sports media analysts, not of course not us. We try to be as
The big name.
impartial as possible.
It's the big name
punditry.
talking heads. It's
Right,
the big name talking heads.
The punditry. And these guys, they always like, well, this person, I just don't like this person. I don't like the way he carries himself and everything. I don't like the way he does this. What difference does it make?
Look what he did on the field. That's all that matters.
Right.
Getting into a hall is what you did to make your name in the sport.
Exactly.
Now, granted, everyone's going to have their idiotic biases, even of those who actually did something great on the field or wherever.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it needs to be decided what they did on the field to get them into the hall and not rubbing elbows and wearing tuxedos all the time.
Exactly. Which means, folks, Moronic Republic, Dak is never going in the hall. Let's cut that right now, because I've had people in the past 3 weeks said that if Dak were to retire this year, he should be considered for the hall.
You mean this idiocy?
Yes.
For God's sake.
That's something that the detective will deal with at a later time. But Doug, who do you have in this?
Well, like I said, Randy Moss, it took forever for him to get in. Racing wise for me, honestly, I mentioned the name a minute ago, Harry Gant.
Right.
He had that streak in 91, ripping off 4 in a row. They called him Mr. September because of it, because everything happened in the month of September for him.
Right.
I mean, he came back from getting the whole front end of that car basically punched off at Martinsville with about 100 to go to win the race.
Right.
I mean, the right front of that car was missing, and the hood was held down by a bungee cord, and that car was still so dominant, he still won the race with it.
Mm-hmm.
So Harry Gant needs to get into the NASCAR hall. There's no question around that. It has to happen.
Right.
Dealing with baseball or basketball, man, there's just too many names on my hit list. There really is.
There's one, and he just passed away recently. Pete Rose.
Yes. That's hell with what he did off the field.
I'm saying right now, that is the one thing I will always fault MLB for. The fact that you were so scared and you were so indignant that you could not put your own ego aside and give Pete Rose his flowers while he was still here.
The WWE put him in their Hall of Fame before MLB did this. I mean, come on. What type of insanity is this?
Yes. How in the world does Pete Rose get into the WWE Hall of Fame?
He gets choke slammed by a doggone cane twice.
Yes.
And he gets into the Hall of Fame, but yet again, his majestic career in the MLB isn't worthy about going into Cooperstown?
It's ridiculous. I've had these, I can't even call them fights. They are wars.
Yes.
It was like, well, he bet on baseball. You can't bet on baseball and be considered for the hall because that interrupts the purity of the game. What if he rigged games against his team? One, there's no proof of that. And two, it's his money.
Exactly.
If he wants to bet his money, he can bet his money.
As long as it's not affecting his coaching, he's good.
Exactly. But yeah,
no, everyone's got their head shoved up everywhere because, he did this. He damaged the game of baseball. Steroids did more to damage baseball than Pete Rose.
I'll put it this way. Apparently, betting damages the game, but a pitch clock doesn't.
Or
apparently, or golden bat.
Yes.
That's totally fine. That won't ruin the integrity of the game. Having a place runner won't ruin the game, but a pitch clock will. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
It's ridiculous.
Baseball has probably, in my opinion, it's one of my favorite sports, but golly, it's run by some of the stupidest people. Manfred is an idiot. Manfred has to go.
Yes, he really does.
Originally, I thought there was no one who could be worse than David Stern. Manfred's getting there.
Yeah, I mean these implementations of stuff like the pitch clock, the ghost runner, now trying to come up with this golden at bat Savannah banana BS.
Right.
Come on, man.
And yet, all of that, and you still couldn't give Pete Rose his flowers. And now he's passed away.
And he ain't gonna get him either.
And
unfortunately.
He's not gonna get him. And for what? What are you trying to prove? What aggravates me is like it's like MLB and a lot of these individuals trying to keep people out of the hall, the individuals against Roger Craig. It's like they're trying to prove a point.
That they have the ultimate power.
Right. And like, what point?
It's maddening, dude. It's maddening.
Yeah, that's why I told Snowman a while back. Like, I don't know if we should really be taking the Hall of Fame serious in NFL.
No, I mean, I hate to say it, you really shouldn't, because yes, there are those that get in that are beyond deserving, but there's also going to be those few apples that don't deserve to be in the hall, but are there because of the favoritism of the board.
Yes.
And that goes for every Hall of Fame.
That's true. That's true. Guarantee you, as much as we rag on LeBron, we know he's going to Hall first ballot.
Easily.
Even if we sit there and scream and complain, there's no way he deserves it, he getting in there first ballot.
Yeah, he is. He really is. And that's the thing, is it doesn't matter at the end of the day what the pundits are going to say. His action, his play on court, even though we all will question it till the end of time, he will end up being a Hall of Famer.
It's my first ballot too.
Easily.
The only Hall of Fame I can even take seriously nowadays is the NHL, and that's only because they actually put in genuine Hall of Famers.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Like the WWE Hall of Fame, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and the NHL Hall of Fame are the three Hall of Fames I take seriously. The rest can go
die in a hole. I understand.
Yeah, the NASCAR one is that the NASCAR one. I'm just shaking my head at from time to time.
That's the funny one. NHL seems to always get stuff right.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that.
In most situations, it seems like for some reason, NHL kind of gets it right in the nose. I'm not saying they're perfect, but they seem to get it on the nose for the most part. The Hall of Fames seem to be more deserving. Some of they don't really change the game all that much, like how MLB has, and really how NFL has.
Right.
I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't take this off tangent, but I need to go back to the hit on Trevor Lawrence, if I may be able to do so.
Hang on 1 second. I got you.
Now, this dude, Al-Shahir, that's his name, right?
Yes.
This dude, something is mentally wrong with him. There has to be. I've never seen a player more indignant when they do something wrong on the field. See, the first person who saw this was Droid, and he's the one that told Snowman and I about the hit. And then my computer started having mishaps, so I didn't get a chance to see. I saw the halftime show, and that's when I saw the hit. And I'm like, oh my God, he needs to be out the league. He needs to be gone.
I saw the hit this morning as I was flipping through the channels, and that was just he had the opportunity to pull up and he didn't.
I mean, for Trevor Lawrence is sliding.
Yeah.
Most players, when they're sliding, they put their hands out to say, as soon as he hits the ground, I touch him, and that's the end of the play. You also have the rule of the quarterback giving themselves up as a runner. When they initiate the slide, that's when they're giving themselves up. So that's also the end of the play.
Yep.
But you lower the boom on him. And then you have other players coming at him because they're protecting their quarterback who just got rammed.
I mean, as you do. As your teammate, you do.
Yes. And then Shahira, who took off his helmet, is jaw-jacking one player saying the phrase, quote, "I will kill you." Like, bruh, you're in the wrong. Not to mention he's jaw-jacking with the fans. Now, look, I am never a proponent of fans throwing anything at the players. You don't know.
No, that's some bull that doesn't need to happen anywhere.
Yes, you know better than that. You know you need to behave like you've been there before. Throwing stuff at the players, throwing stuff at talent, I will never condone. But I do understand their frustration and their anger when someone just does an absolute dirty play.
Yeah.
But now he's trying to get in the stands. They had to hold him back because he was trying to make it break for the stands.
This was going to turn into a Malice in the Palace all over again.
Exactly. I'm like, bro, you have to go somewhere. If I am the Houston Texans, I'm pulling him in the office. I'm like, look, bro, we're going to have to suspend you for like a good month. Now, I think they said it's like right now he's suspended for 3 games. I believe
yes, it is 3
penalty. It'd been the rest of the season for me.
It would have been the rest of the season for me and all of next season.
Like, you need to go and get your head checked because he has been wilding for a while.
Yep.
And again, the fact that you do it to this degree and you're this indignant, like you're like, I did nothing wrong. Nah, bro, get him out of here. Get him out of here. Because that has no place. That seemed like you were intentionally trying to hurt someone. That's not right. Because imagine if that were CJ Stroud. Imagine if that were Caleb Williams or Justin Fields or something. Imagine if that was Patrick Mahomes. And you blow the boom on that.
You'd probably be banned for the rest of the season.
You be banned for life, I believe.
For life?
Right.
You
probably, if that were Brock Purdy, oh my God.
Oh dear God.
Someone would come after you personally.
Right.
You would have a personal vendetta to get your ass.
First thing that would happen is
you fool. But
and then after that, it turns into an absolute slobber knocker.
Yes. Because again, it's like it's not even just that it's Trevor. Like, you shouldn't do that to any quarterback.
No.
That shouldn't happen.
He's been sliding for 2 yards when he lowered the hammer down.
And then the killer part, right? Because, I hang around a lot of the football Twitter spheres.
I pity you sometimes, dude.
It's self-inflicted partially. One individual said, well, it's a bang bang play. What do you expect him to do? Stop in midair? I'm like, bruh, he had a full 2 seconds to pull back. This is not like a person launched and just the person launched, the other person, the quarterback slid, and then he can't stop himself.
Wait a minute. They said this was a bang bang play?
It was a bang bang play.
Hold up.
I don't remember asking you a thing.
Agreed. The way this guy explained it was that, well, when he committed to the hit, it's not like he can stop. I'm like, he had a full 2.5 seconds to reroute his energy. I get when you're a defensive lineman and you commit and you already are in that leap, and either the quarterback's already thrown the ball or he's sliding. Yeah, there's nothing you can do there. There's nothing you can do there because you're already in midair. You gonna commit now. But this situation where Trevor slides, there's a 2-second delay. And then you see Shahir, lower himself to just crack him.
Yeah.
It's like
he had time to pull off.
He had time to pull off. He had time to reroute himself. He had time to say, "Oh, he's about to slide. Let me deviate. I can still touch him when he's down." But
he probably had time to do a whole prayer.
Yeah. But yeah, there have been people saying it was a bang bang play. I've had morons say that was a clean football hit.
Hell no.
I'm apparently Dominican Sue's stomp was also a clean football hit for you. Apparently,
What?
yes, that was a clean football hit.
What?
That was textbook.
What?
Nothing wrong with it.
What?
Y'all just being soft.
What?
This is real football.
Bitch, please.
Again, if I'm Goodell, I've made all these concessions to where roughing the passer is literally you having bad breath in the quarterback's general direction. I've made complaints about that. I've made complaints about actual clean hits that don't hurt the quarterback, but just because he just lets go of the football is roughing the passer. That he barely puts any pressure on the quarterback is roughing the passer. I've talked about some of the bonehead rule changes. What I will not condone is someone lowering their shoulders, lowering their head, and trying to cause head-to-head collision with a quarterback that's already slidden.
Right.
No chance, no how. I'm done. But Shahir, you need help, bro. Maybe you need to talk. Maybe you need to be in the same position as Antonio Clown, because you need help, bro.
Man, for him to get into the same place as Antonio Clown, he'd have to go here.
So I realized that I think even though it's not advertised,
Right.
there has to be a place for stupid people. We don't know because we're not stupid, so we don't know anything about it. It's like a secret club society.
Oh my gosh.
So I come to the conclusion that he graduated from SU, stupid university. Yeah, and all the stupid ass letters that go along with graduating high honors of being stupid. I can't do no more, man.
Vámonos, dominos, vámonos. Stupid university, where everyone graduates. Magna cum stupid.
I'm done with that. Anything you guys want to add?
All I gotta say is the not so random musings of
I'm not gonna lie, I'm trying to lay down.
And I think that's the cue to get out of here, everybody. Yep. Tomorrow we will have more on the college football playoff picture with Deets. Probably sneak in a little bit of the Juan Soto sweepstakes.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to $600 million right now.
Oof.
There's about 6 teams involved, and 2 of them are from New York. Why are we not surprised?
We're not.
Not at all, and I guarantee y'all tomorrow Snowman will be here to take control of this party. But until then, take care. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move, and always remember if your dreams aren't scaring you, they simply aren't big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We are. We hope y'all are too. Till we meet again tomorrow, everybody. Take care.
See ya. And Mark Republic, don't be fooled. Don't let these last 2 victories fool you. We ain't going nowhere in the playoffs.
Oh, you had to do that because we all know.
This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation.
I'll take it because it's not Tam. See y'all tomorrow.
Deeds, join us, and we will make predictions for the college bowl games, everybody. See you tomorrow.